Welcome to the 21 convention in Miami, Florida. Guys, real treat here. I've had the pleasure of knowing this guy on an acquaintance level for many years, but then had the true pleasure to interview him. That interview is actually on the 21 Convention channel, and it's an amazing thing. But not only that, I've gotten to know his entire coaching staff and just amazing people, clients, amazing people, truly teaching us about ease, delight, love, and beauty. The founder of Ars Amorata, Zan Perrion.
Let's have a talk. Okay. I thought about what I was going to talk about today. Usually I just wing it. I come up with an opening sentence and I just start to wing it. But I want to talk about a subject today, and I'll try and explore it in various ways. So if I ramble a bit and jump around, just bear with me. And the subject I want to talk about, which is strong on my mind and has been for many years, is the concept and the idea of us men being men. In other words, our sexual spirit and our masculine edge. The mystique we have as men, the beautiful God-given gift of our sexual desire, which in the West, which we're all a product of, is anathema. It's wrong. So I want to talk about that, and I'm going to explore it, and I'm going to think about things as I go that I've discovered over the years, and see if we can come to some kind of it's an energetic thing I'm going to talk about. So I've always been interested in the kind of man who women adore. And you know what I'm talking about. You guys know somebody in college or something that you knew that he wasn't very tall, he wasn't very good looking, he had no money, he was kind of a slob, but girls loved him. He always had girls around him. And I wanted to know, what is the energy of that man compared to the rest of us who are trying to analyze things and trying to analytically figure things out, trying to say the right thing, do the right thing to get girls. And this guy just just be yourself. I wanted to understand that. And I spent my entire life trying to understand that man and that energy. And why do they have a vibration that the rest of us do not have? And how can we have it for ourselves? Why do women encounter him and the next day she can't stop thinking about him? She's daydreaming, she's in her office and she's playing with her pencil and she's looking out the window, thinking about that guy. That's the only thing I think that has any merit and has any kind of, what's the only subject I want to talk about? And truly, I think it's the only subject we need. I really do. It's the only thing we need. We're a great generation of nice guys. We're charming, we learn how to talk, we're learning how to approach girls, we're learning how to be, to take a girl on a date. But there's no edge in us. There's no lower energy. These men have a vibration that moves down into the earth like this. It's a lowered center of gravity, and women can feel it. And they go they might not even be attracted to him, but they go, that guy. So this is what I've been trying to understand all my life for myself. And I wrote a book about it called The Alabaster Girl. And you guys all have a bookmark on your place in front of you. And I'll send you a free copy. I'll sign it and send it to you from Romania, where I live. If you go to the website, alabastergirl.com, I'll send you a copy. I'll sign it and send it to you. Put your email in there, or your mailing address, your snail mail address, and I'll send you a physical copy. So, the book I tried to write, it took me 10 years to write it. And I tried to capture in there what I've learned in my years. I'll say my story very quickly because I don't want to belabor this point. I grew up in the wilderness of northern Canada. I left home when I was 13. My education stopped at 13. I don't have any education beyond that except for self-education. And so I went into the wilderness and I helped a mountain man run his trap line. I wore moccasins on my feet, had a fur hat, had a knife on my side. And that was my background. And I was that from 13 years old till 18, 19. So my teenage years were not spent in a high school type situation, certainly not a college situation, where you learn your social graces, you learn the dynamic of men and women. That's your part of your social education. I didn't get it. So I came out of there into the cities of the world, and I liked girls. More than anything in my life, I liked girls. Crazy, huh? I dedicated my life to that subject. And so my 20s, remember this, my teens, I was like in the wilderness. My 20s, I did everything I could to try and understand women. And I tried and failed. There is no story, I promise you this, there's no story you have about being rejected or lost or confused or desiring somebody and they don't want you back that I don't have. I have embarrassing stories from my 20s. Massively embarrassing stories. I did but I stayed. I wanted to understand it. I wanted to understand women. So I spent my whole 20s trying to understand the concept of female energy and women in their relationship to me. Massively rejected across the board. And if something happened, I'd be like, what happened? How did I get lucky on this? I had no clue. No clue. Then about my 30s, because I remember, this is before anything like the seduction community. I'm an old guy, I'm 52. So this is before the internet. This is before there's any kind of instruction or boot camps or workshops or books on the subject at all. There's nothing. I read the memoirs of Casanova. That's all there was. So here I am in my 20s, and I was like so insecure and so lost. I would go to the bar by myself, and I would stand there like, I'm not going to approach a girl. I was too ashamed and too afraid. So I'd be like this, and I'd kind of like lean on the bar till 2 o'clock in the morning when the bar closed, hoping something would happen. I was massively insecure, and that was my 20s. My 30s then, I started to think, because I did my time. I did my 10,000 hours, if you know the concept of that. I did 10,000 hours trying to understand women. I did nothing else. I've had no other hobbies in my entire life. I want to know women. Like I play a bit of guitar, but that's because I want to meet girls. I remember I like the guys, I was in Vancouver, and some of the guys from work said, listen, we're going to go on, we have this fishing boat, we're going to go off the coast of Vancouver Island, we're going to cast nets into the sea and go out there for, Captain Ahab, and in 2 weeks we're going to go out there and fight the elements and grow beards, and yeah, I want to do that, yeah, wait, is there going to be girls out there? And I wouldn't go. If there's no girls, I'm not going to go. So that was my whole background. So in my 30s is when things started, the synapses started to fire. And I was like, wait a minute, you just said this to me, girl, and I heard this 100 times before, and it meant something, and I thought it meant this, but I think it means this. I started to get some understanding, homegrown. I had nobody to help me, nobody. So I wrote a book in my 40s. It took me from 40 to 50 years old. The Alabaster Girl. It's everything I've ever learned. Everything I've learned in all those years is in that book. And it's like something vomited out of my system. I had to get it out. So read it, and if you read it, send me a message if you read the comments and thoughts about it. It really is my life work. Well, my next book too. But anyway, so that's my truncated story. Now then, so this concept of men who get it, who move through the land of women with ease, who women say, oh yeah, that's just him. You have to date me 3 times to make sure that you're a good guy, but him, no, he doesn't count. You all know what I'm talking about, right? These guys just like have a free pass from women. How is this possible? It's like women are on the stage and they're giving out all the prizes. You get a prize and you don't. It's like they're the ones in control. Like, and we don't know what's going on. That's why we say have the concept of getting lucky, because we feel, I don't know what happened. Right? I don't know. This girl had sex with me. I don't know why. Right? And a whole community developed around that. Why did that girl, or how to make that girl, or to how to get this girl to blah. Right? And you know, when the community came along, I mean, like, Neil Strauss wrote the book, The Game. I was way back in the day, if you guys know anything about me at all, I was back in the day. I was one of the original guys back then talking about it. And anyway. But I wrote the book. I wrote this book. I'm not kidding, guys. I wrote this book for me. I wrote it for my young self. If I had this when I was 18, 19, if I had somebody to say, you know what, it's going to be okay. And we didn't get it. We didn't have a hero to look up to in our generation. We didn't have a father figure that said, son, this is how you hold an axe. This is how you work in a car, and this is how you treat a woman. We didn't get it. We didn't get that. Our generation has been failed as men. This is why we're scratching our head. This is why we're afraid of the women, because we didn't get that. We didn't get what we've always had in history, which is a rite of passage. We've always had, in all of cultures of all of history, every culture of the world has had a rite of passage, from boys to men. The Sioux Native Americans had the vision quest, and they would take a young man and a boy, and they say, go into the wilderness and speak your name. And he'd go into the wilderness, he's naked and scared, and he's like cold and afraid, and he'd go out there for days, maybe weeks, and he'd come back after finding his totem animal. This is in a lot of cultures. And then when he came back, they would say, now you can stand with the men. Stand here. The concept, imagine this, the concept of teenager, including the word teenager, did not exist before 1950. The word teenager is invented since 1950. There was no concept of teenager in all of history until now. There was boys and men. And we didn't get that. Our generation has been failed. That's why you're experiencing what you're feeling. Experiencing this loss of connection with women, loss of connection with the female spirit, loss of connection with your masculine edge and your sexual beauty. We've been failed. Our society has let us down. It's not your fault. It's let us down. And so I wrote this book for that little boy who was lost and scared, came out of the wilderness and liked the girls, but was so massively rejected from girls. And tried to be cool. I tried to learn things. Tried to be this guy. Tried to get somebody to like me, and I was so insecure because I thought, who would like me? I didn't have an education. I didn't have who would want me? Everybody else has got this cool car, and I had this feeling all those years. And it's what you learn is this, gentlemen. And I look at you guys and I see myself, I really do. And here's what I'm going to say to you. There is nobody going to help you but you. You look in the mirror, and this is what you do now. You look in the mirror and say, you suck. You know, you tried to talk to that girl last night, and she's like, you weren't funny enough, and you suck, you're not good enough. And that has got to change. That story has got to change. And it's a simple matter of choosing it, gentlemen. All you have to do is listen, because your father's not there to tell you it's going to be okay, son. Here's how you be strong. We have no heroes anymore. Our heroes are 18-year-old rap stars. I want to be like that guy who has no clue either. This celebrity culture. So your whole thing from now on, and I mean this very sincerely, is it's up to you to look yourself in the mirror, look yourself in the eye and say, I've got you. It's going to be okay. You have to raise yourself because nobody's going to do it. Nobody's going to do it for you. Bible says, you know, when I was a child, I spake as a child. When I became a man, I put away childish things. And it's that critical and that deep and that absolute that has to happen. We're a generation of boys who are trying to date girls and we're Tinder swiping. We're a generation of boys who used to play with PlayStation when we were boys. We play PlayStation now, but now we're having fun. We're not having fun anymore. You see? And I'm saying it strong, and I hope you get it strong, and I hope you feel the energy of what I'm saying because it's to me. It's to myself. I wish I would have had a message, but there's no message for men that's real. This is fundamental. It goes to the core of who we are as men, which is lost in this day and age. An interesting thing happened in the last 30 years. 30-ish years, I don't know. And that is this. For all of history, men, which I see here in the audience, had the concept of duty. You had the duty to your country, duty to your family, duty to your community, duty to your fellow man, duty to your brothers. You had the concept of duty. We had that in our soul, in our system, in our culture, right? The concept of duty. It has been replaced today by the concept of rights. I have the right to do this, and I have the right to not have, and we have this generation that has been protected with their little bike helmets, who grew up and are offended in our universities and offended by everything, and we're little snowflakes. Something's wrong. Something has gone wrong. We're this generation of like fragile beings who need protection. We want everything to protect us because I might be offended. The universities in the West used to teach intellectual pursuits. Now, instead of intellectual education, it's an emotional education. Everything's dedicated to like teach them how to be offended and to take offense. And it's wrong. I'll stand up and I'll say it. And that's, gentlemen, who we are and who you're dating. You see? That what we're missing is our generation is this conviction of men. This desire to imagine this. Our sentences go up at the end. We ask a girl, we say to a girl, hey, listen, it was like, it was nice talking to you. Would you like to go for coffee sometime? Oh, I have a boyfriend. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you had a boyfriend. I didn't mean anything by it. In other words, we flinch. We don't say statements anymore. I'm not talking about anything practical, but here's something practical for you. Stop saying questions to women. Start shifting that into statements. By that I mean, imagine if you said to this girl, it was nice talking to you, would you like to get coffee sometime? That sounds like a great thing of reaching out and talking to women, right? Sounds good. But if you change it into a statement, instead of saying, hey, it was nice talking to you, would you like to have coffee sometime? You say this, it was nice talking to you, I would like to have coffee with you sometime. Or we should have coffee sometime. Or we should go Thursday night, what are you doing? Let's cancel your plans. If you change your these queries into statements, subtly what happens in you is something shifts into an energetic leadership role, and she can feel it. Statements instead of questions. Hey, I would like to have coffee, it'd be great. That's a great way of saying it. Make sense? A little bit of like a micro adjustment compared to the microaggressions and triggering that we have in our modern society, which you guys all know, you're all aware of that. Our convictions, we don't draw the line in the sand anymore. We say, listen, to women or to men or to anything, thus far shalt thou go and no further. We're a generation of beige, asexual men. We're closet heterosexuals. Right? Time to come out of the closet. And I'll tell you, like, I'm coming out here strong, guys, because you know what? It's the fight of your lives. I hope you feel the energy of it, because it is that important. It is the fight of your lives. We say we want change, but we don't really. Right? You say you want a girlfriend? No, you don't really. Because you know why? It's easier to complain to yourself and say I'm not good enough than it is to go out there and actually meet women. There's entire programs and webinars and seminars devoted to this concept of approach anxiety, or the fear of rejection. I have the fear of rejection. I don't want to talk about girls who have fear of rejection. Because what if she has a boyfriend, right? The fear of rejection. But you know what is even stronger, I think, for men in this generation? The fear of success. Because what if she likes you? What if you went up there and you said, hey, I like you, you're pretty and I like you. What if she likes you? Now, you have to be interesting and dynamic and stop playing World of Warcraft on the weekends and hang out with a girl. So you sabotage yourself. I don't do that. So like the fear of success is just as strong, or maybe more strong, than the fear of failure. Because you're used to your security blanket that's cold and moldy and wet and holding you down, but you're used to it. To throw it off is scary. It's scary. Your comfort zone is you see? We're afraid of that. Fear of success. It's that important. It's the fight of your lives. I went to Panama when I was writing this book. I went there for 4 months to sit in the jungle and work on my book. Sat in the same shorts and t-shirt for like 4 months, sweating my everything off. And I came out of there from the people who have very little anything, but they're happy people. And I went into Amsterdam to do a major seminar. After 4 months in the jungle, I went there. And all I could think the whole time was this me-centric generation. Reality TV, self-help, multi-billion-dollar industry. What are you going to do for me? This is the women of the world. What are you going to do for me? Where are we going to be in 5 years? What does this mean? It's all me. We're navel-gazing. We're centered on ourselves. There's no sense of communion with brothers and sisters, and there's no communion anymore at all. Even though we think we're on Facebook, and we're not. There's no sense of connection. And you can feel it. You feel it everywhere. There's no sense of gathering and brothers in arms and any of this kind of stuff. And me-centric generation, we're overladen with if you watch a lot of porn, which probably a lot of guys in the audience do, you turn it off at the end, and what do you see reflected in the screen? You. Just you. And that hurts. That hurts. You feel it right here. It's just you there. That's it. This is where our failing is. This is my crusade. That's why I wrote a book for my young self, so if I only had those answers then, when I was being insecure and not sincere and manipulative and trying to be this cool guy. If only I had this. So, the question to ask yourself, gentlemen, a big question, a fundamental question, which is the question of my next book, is this. What exists because of you? What a thought, huh? What a thought. What exists? Do you feel the energy of that? Everything else is small. Girl doesn't text you back, that's small. What exists because of you? So my whole thing that I've been trying to understand and trying to talk about is the polarity which we've lost in this world of men being men and women being women. The masculine edge of the masculine spirit of men is a thrusting nature. It's a penetrative energy. We can't penetrate our women. We can't penetrate our lives. We can't penetrate our businesses. We're like, oh, we're apologetic. It's okay. It's good enough. We're beige. We can't penetrate anymore. And I'll say this is politically incorrect. And I'll get slammed for it, and I don't care. The energy of women is a receiving energy. To receive that penetration, to receive that masculine energy into the feminine spirit, and to rebirth it, to give it rebirth. The true feminine spirit, which is gone from the earth, just like the true masculine spirit is gone from the earth. The true feminine spirit is a regenerative, life-giving energy. And if you have, and I know you have, if you've ever been in the presence of a woman that has just even 10% of that beautiful feminine grace, you'll never forget her till the day you die. Am I right? Some woman that was just kind and gave you of her generous feminine spirit breaks your heart. It breaks your heart. If you make love to a beautiful woman that is way out of your league, quote unquote, who's a beautiful, generous energy of receiving your masculine spirit and giving you the rebirth that we crave, if you're in bed with that woman and she gives you that energy, you almost cry. It breaks your heart. And it's rare as a tiger lily. It's rare. It's a rare spirit. When you make love to a beautiful woman, imagine this, guys, all is forgiven. All the rejections you had, all the mistakes you made talking to women, all the mess-ups you made when you thought, it's all forgiven. Everything's forgiven. You reset. That's, like I said, it's politically incorrect. I'll say it. You know, like if I worked if I was a professor, I'd lose my tenure. If I was working in a media or something, I'd lose my job. I can't, so I'll say it. This is the receiving role of women. And there's countless women out there trying to restore that balance too, believe me. You hear all this strong feminist, bitchy agenda, you hear all the strong men beating their chests, painting their faces, take back the power from women. That's 20% of the voices, guys. 80% is the silent majority of men and women who really want restoration, want a beautiful balance again, of polarity of men and women, of this beautiful magnetic energy that attracts. We don't have that. We have sameness. We are all born under this so-called second wave equality movement. And the goal of the equality movement was equality. And we didn't get it. 60 years later, we still don't have equality. We have sameness. Men are more like women, women are more like men. And there's no attraction in that at all. We go to our offices and you have to be eyes front. If you comment, hey, I like you, hey, you look nice today, sexual harassment. You can't even say that. You offended me and I have protection powers to take a dump on you because of that. Right? So we have to be asexual underneath the fluorescent lights in our offices, asexual, eyes front, everyone has no gender, and then you're supposed to turn it on the weekend when you go out? There you go. That's our problem. You can't. And then I hear a guy say to me this, well, women are mean. They're not nice. Yeah, well, women have their own work to do, gentlemen. We can't wait for them. It's up to you. It's up to you to stand on this earth and say, you know what, no more. I want to have a great path of life. I want to have a spirit of adventure, spirit of treasure hunting, spirit of mystery, spirit of I like nice things. You look like a nice thing. What's your name? Women are mean and they're rejecting and they're the ones in power and they're the ones that pick, I like you, but I don't like these guys. We seemingly think. But women are not to blame. Women are no more enlightened or aware than you are. They're just as lost and confused and scratching their head too. This is our modern age. And it's time for a generation of men to say no more. Let's stand on this earth, not in a fight against women, not in a fight against this energy, but in a reclamation of the beautiful God-given gift of masculine sexuality. In our Western world, if you're a man, you're this close to being a rapist. And we need on college campuses and in universities and in organizations programs to teach you how not to rape. That's a sin. That's a sin. Fight it with everything you've got, because that's a sin. That's wrong. If you go near a playground, you're a pedophile. That's you pedophiles. I can see pedophile eyes here everywhere. You see that? That's wrong. I don't buy it. I'll fight against it. I don't care who says anything about me. I don't care. It's a fight of our lives. But it's not a fight against women. Remember that. Women are lost too. Women have been sold a bill of goods too. Women have been taught the wrong things. It's not a fight against that. It's a fight for a new spirit of regeneration. It's men and women and the polarity, which is a beautiful thing. Today we're all gender fluid. I identify, that's okay. I talk in absolutes. I talk about men being men, women being women, and there's other people who identify with different things. That's okay. I don't talk about that. I'm talking about extremes, and I'm extreme. And I get blasted by feminists say, well, I don't care. I'll say it anyway. Because they know. No, because I know that there's a volume. And I'll tell you this, guys, you've been with bad women who've been mean to you, who've been vindictive and bitchy and petty and small-minded and all these things, just like this vindictive, bitchy, petty, small-minded men. In all the years, in all my time, I've ever met women who are like mean, not good-spirited women, not nice people. I've met a lot of women who have gracious hearts. And there's a lot of them out there. So believe it. Don't lose hope, because I don't lose hope. And then guys say to me, well, because I've been saying, I wrote in my book, I said, you know what? Head toward the light and only the light. I don't talk about like social, I'm talking about tonight, I don't talk about social conditions and what's happening in the world today and politics and stuff like that, because I want to focus on the light. What's beautiful? What is beauty? This book is, if somebody said to me in an elevator, what's your book about in one word? I'm not kidding, I would say it's about beauty. We're missing beauty in art, in architecture, in everything. We've lost the aesthetic thing, which we used to have from the Greeks and the Romans with the golden rectangle, and everything had to be in proportion, and beauty was one of the elements with truth and everything else that was revered. And not today. And everything's all like, art is a cow cut in sections. And an artist taking a shit in a can. That's art. Right? We've lost aesthetic, it's true. We've lost aesthetic beauty, and my mission is to speak, to reclaim that. So that's your mission too. That's what I'm trying to say to you. I hope you can get this. I hope you can feel the energy of what I'm trying to say, because it's up to you. And if you can take this mission into your heart to speak truth to women, say, you know what? This is how it is. This is who I am. I'm nervous to talk to you, but I want to talk to you anyway. Your life will change, and the world will change. We're waiting for for women to be nice to us. We're waiting for things to change and be better. It's not going to happen. It's up to you. This is for you guys. This is for you. Do you feel it? It's for you. It's for my young self when I was 19 and lost and crying for girls. This is for you. It's for you, absolutely for you. We say, well, I can't live a life of adventure and because I have to first do that. In all of history, gentlemen, we said, okay, I had this bad childhood. So like this is why I'm insecure and I have this bad childhood. In all of history, was there ever a time of good childhoods? There was disease and pestilence and migration and wars and famine. Every child before you grew up seeing destruction and death and disease and trouble and famine, starvation, getting thrust out of homes. And we're whining. There has never been happy children, happy childhoods, ever. There's been trauma in all childhoods. And we have to resolve our childhood? I don't think so. You have to go to therapy to resolve your childhood. No, you don't. You're abused, you're abandoned. We all were, gentlemen. In all of history. We stand on the earth and say, no more, no more. It's your job. Nobody's going to do it. Nobody's going to give you that lift up. Here's what you do. You look in the mirror. Instead of saying, you suck, you're not good for anything, nobody will ever love you, you look in the mirror and you say this. Say this is your new thing that you call yourself from now on. I'm a student of life. If you can call yourself a student of life from this day forward to the day you die, you can do no wrong. If you talk to a girl last night and she's like, and you go home and instead of saying, you know what, you suck, you should have been more funny, you should have been more, you can say, hey, at least I'm a student of life. Were you sincere when you talked to that girl last night? Were your heart sincere? Were you trying to be nice and trying to be interesting and trying to be funny, right? You were sincere. And she's shutting you down and being bitchy to you. You can go home and say, at least I'm a student of life. At least I showed up. Now, if you're sincere, you can do no wrong. You did nothing to beat yourself up about. You showed up. You showed up as a man. Hey, at least I like nice girls. I'm trying to see if you're a nice girl. I get it that you're not. That's okay too. I will move my energy somewhere else. We want security, you know, like this generation, I get guys ask me all the time, how do I, I want to live a life of adventure and go into this world. But first I have to save up all this money and I have to worry. Imagine this, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, 400 years ago, 500 years ago, guys are going into wooden ships. There was no medical insurance. Didn't have savings. Going into whatever. They didn't have a backup plan. They didn't have plan B. They didn't have okay, at least I can go to an ATM, get some cash out. Call my parents if I get in trouble. It's strong, guys. I hope you can feel what I'm trying to say because I wish I had it. It's a message to me. I promise you that. This is why women will go have sex with you because they're horny and you smell nice and there's nobody else and she's ovulating. She'll have sex with you, but she doesn't think, is she thinking about you the next day? The question I asked myself when I was young, I thought, this popped into my mind and it shocked me and it broke my heart and made me cry, which is this. There's only one woman here. Hello, dear. Sorry. There's only one woman here, but I'll say this. Every woman is thinking about somebody. Imagine that. My question I asked myself when I was young, I looked in the mirror and I said, because it hit me hard, I said, wait a minute. Have you ever been a woman's fantasy? If not, why not? She's thinking about somebody. When she's in the shower, she's in her bed, she's daydreaming out she's excited about somebody. She's fantasizing about some guy. Is it, I said this to me, is it you? Has it ever been you? Ask yourself that question. Is there a woman out there in this world right now who's fantasizing about you as she's laying in bed? She's having a sexual fantasy about you? If not, why not? Because they're thinking about somebody. This is the energy we have to fight for. This is where we're going. And this is the only place to go. And I believe in it 100%. And I believe in it for you 100%. I really do. Security, we want this, we have one assurance is, if you want security, go out here in Miami and kill somebody. You'll have maximum security. You'll have every meal covered, right? You have security. You want security? There you go. Tennessee Williams said, security is a kind of death. If you have the impulse and the energy and the thought process and the gut is saying, I can't do this job anymore, I have to go and fight for something else, you have to follow with all your heart, no matter, Don't worry about money. Money will follow you. Don't wait to have savings. If you go, it's going to find you. You think, well, if I go out and follow my dreams, I'll be living under a bridge and sleeping in a cardboard box and pushing a shopping cart. But I tell you this, the guy told this to me like years ago, and it's true. Nobody who's living under a bridge, pushing a shopping cart, and sleeping in a cardboard box is there because he followed his dreams. Nobody. I saw an interview with Morgan Freeman, and he said, when I was Morgan Freeman, a revered actor, an actor's actor, and when he was young, he said, you know what, the acting wasn't working, and I tried, and I couldn't get any jobs, and I was so broke and so hungry, I was living in my car, and I said, I have to quit acting. But he said, I kept going, and he said, the lesson I learned, because I kept going, was this. If you keep going, he said this, if you step your foot into nothing, your foot will always hit something. And he said this, which is remarkable. Remember what I'm about to say. He said this. What I learned is if you continue with beyond the point of hope and beyond the point of redemption, beyond the point of any possibility of continuance, if you keep going, whatever it is, somebody will come into your life and give you the next step. Not something, somebody will arrive in your life, give you the next step. That's the way it works. The way it works. Absolutely, it works that way. So like I'll say this. I'll take questions at the end, but I got 30 minutes left. I know I'm talking very philosophical, but I hope you guys get the energy and I hope you can feel what I'm trying to say, because I mean it with all my heart. I really do. There's nothing else you need to know. There's nothing else you need to know. All the techniques and all this, like talk to this girl, and stand with your shoulders like this, and like go like this, and none of it matters. If you're heading into the size of your life, the size of your problems is the size of your life. Imagine that. If your problem is, how do I get this girl to text me back? What do I do? Or how do I pay my phone bill? That's as large as your life is going to get. If your problem is, how do I get some clean water into this village in Africa? That's a lot, your life is a lot bigger. Things like the girl not texting you back and your phone bill, that doesn't matter. Take care of itself. The size of your problem is the size of your life. So, I'll say a little bit of a metaphor, and I hope you guys get it, because what I tried to capture in here, and it's so powerful, I tried to write about the energy of men who women adore. They get a free pass. I tried to write about it. What do they have? What is the qualities that they have? What is the spirit that they have? And you know, if you start from here, which is the center of gravity as a man here, I don't know anything about chakras, but if you do, imagine your center, whatever, chest, heart chakra. You start from an energy force from here as a man, okay? This is incredibly important. You start from here like this. Your energy as a man moves out into the world from here. And it goes up and out. It goes like this. And it's a beautiful masculine energy. This is you being charming, being humorous, being inviting, being gracious. This is you saying, would you like some more wine? This is you saying, hey, can I get your coat for you? This is you telling a joke. And this is you, hey guys, nice to meet you. This is a great, beautiful, upper energy, masculine beauty. Charm, empathy, sympathy, humor, all these beautiful qualities of man. Comes from here and moves out into the world. Imagine you're on a job interview. Everything about you is high. You're sitting across the table from the interview. Yes, I did this. And even your eye contact is high. You can feel it, right? You're like lifting, you're straight up as an arrow like this, and you're like, yes, and yeah. And then I did this, and yeah. And everything is high energy, and it's a beautiful energy. It's a beautiful masculine energy. And it's needed. Okay? Now imagine from the same center of gravity here, your same heart, or originating place, there's an equal counterbalancing energy that is necessary to be a man. This is an energy that goes down and out into the world. It's low on the floor. It vibrates. It has a vibration. Everything's about is lower. Your voice is lower, everything's lower. This is your sexual desire, which in the West is a bad thing. Toxic. You rapist. Right? This is you wanting to bend the world over. This is you seeing a heart-shaped ass say, I like this. I like that. That's your, and I tell you this, it's given to you by God. You fail, God, women, men, society, everything, when you block off that energy, which we all do. Our Western society has been taught, you eyes front, respectful, don't have any kind of this sexual energy at all, and it's wrong. It's wrong. Your sexual energy that moves onto it's kind of like bass that flows on the floor, boom, boom, boom. And women can feel it. They can feel it when they're in the energy of a man who has that sexual vibration that floats on the floor. But here's the key. And here's the key. You need both. Both energies. If you're only this upper energy guy, which all the dating advice out there, all the mainstream media, how to be more humorous, how to take Toastmasters, how to tell a joke, how to be more storytelling, how to be more interesting, how to be where to take a girl on a date, is all of the instruction for men is how to be more of this nice guy upper energy. If you're only upper energy, when you say to a girl, hey, I like you, would you like to go for coffee? And she says, I have a boyfriend. You're top heavy and you fall over. You flinch. Oh, I didn't mean anything by it. You didn't mean anything by it? I have a boyfriend. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know he had a boyfriend. You're sorry because she had a boyfriend? Okay, I respect that, and I'm doing my job as a man. So this upper energy is what's being taught. This is why we have a generation of nice guys. You're either in your basement suite playing World of Warcraft, not going out and meeting girls, or you're being taught upper energy things, which are good things, but if they don't have the counterbalance of that beautiful lower thrusting energy, that spanking energy, if you don't have that, then you're a nice guy. Women are dating nice guys, and men are learning, okay, how to go down on a woman, how to, her anatomy. They're reading all these books and programs and how to please a woman, how to massage her with the right oils and candles for the right. They're pleasing women. And women say, I want that guy. Yeah, sign me up. No, you don't. You don't want that guy. Guy goes down on you for 45 minutes. You could get yourself off in 2 minutes with your fingers. But it's nice. It feels good. It's cool. But there's nothing in him that makes you think, this guy's incredible. You see? Nothing in us that makes women say, wow, I can't stop thinking about that guy. He's not very... That's what's missing. So, and if you're only lower energy, you're a creep. If you don't have it balanced, if you're the sexual guy looking at women's boobs, and you don't have it balanced with charm and humor and empathy and kindness and full respect, you're a creep. But if you have both, our generation has only upper energy. There you go. That's what we have. Welcome to my history. Only upper energy. So afraid to show that we have this sexual desire too, which is, like I said, given by God. So afraid to show it. In society, you can't say it. Oh, no, that's bad. Right? Is this landing with you guys? Makes sense? This is why we're here. It's why we have this problem in our lives, which we're trying to sort this thing out. It's why women are going, where's the real men? Every country I go in the world, the women are saying, where are the real men? Women are doing both roles. They're being the man and the woman because the men are not showing up. Woody Allen said this 80% of success is just showing up. And we're not doing that. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Like we have pickup artist guys out there saying, listen, they take you out and you pay me money and I'll take you out. I'll send you to 25 different sets. Okay? At the end of the night, you think, this is incredible. I had 19 rejections and 6 girls smiled at me, or 3 girls smiled at me and 2 gave me their phone number. It's incredible. Whatever you taught me works incredibly. We think that's powerful. But you know what he did? He took you out of your basement suite and he fired you into the land of women for the first time maybe in your life. If you did it yourself, if you went out there and said, I'm going to talk to 25 girls tonight. What's today? Saturday? Friday. If you went out tonight and said, I'm going to go up to 25 girls and say, hi, I'm Zan. That's all I know. And you look cute. I want to say hi. If you did it 25 times, you're going to get 19 girls say, flick, flick, lint, right? You're going to get that. But you're also going to get girls go, oh, that's nice to meet you. And you're going to get girls say, well, I like you. It's the way it works. But we don't do it because we think we're not good enough. Showing up, that's it. If you went up, and women have told me this over the years, if you went up to women and say, listen, I'm really nervous to talk to you because you're beautiful to me, but I want to say hi. What's your name? You know how many women have told me, that's endearing to me? They don't care if you're nervous. They care if you have a hidden agenda, you're trying to be cool. They don't care about an agenda, they care about a hidden agenda. You see? So this upper and lower energy, guys, does that make sense? It's like a tree that has foliage and birds and flowers. And it's a great masculine energy, and you need to learn more of that. That's good. Toastmasters, learn how to be more funny and stuff like that. But if it isn't counterbalanced with the roots that go down low, which is your dark forest, your mystique, your desire to bend the world over. If women can't feel that from you, if women can't feel, listen, you're cute and your girlfriend's cute and I like you, and I would like to know your names, and I would like to meet you again, and if you come near me, I'm going to bend you over, that's true, and you're going to like it. If they can't feel that, you're a nice guy. They need to feel that energy, that they need to feel, I'll say this, and it's not politically correct, this on camera is true, but take the context of what I'm saying, the whole thing. If they can't feel your danger, the dangerous part of you, they'll let you go down on them. They'll date you, but they don't lust after you. Do you understand what I'm saying? They don't think about you like speaking Chinese when you're in their head. And that's the only place to go. So all the things like we say, well, listen, I'm going to talk to this girl and I'm going to say this. I'm going to put my shoulders like this and then I'm going to turn away like this and I'll go back. All that is a approximation of like a real man saying, you know what, I'm nervous, but I want to come say hi to you, and what's your name, and what's your friend's name? And I like you, and I don't know why. We compliment a girl on her eyes, or her hair. Oh, you have such beautiful blah, 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 blah. This nice guy, right? And then we learn, you can't do that. You can't compliment because it's too needy. So we stop doing that, and so we start like knocking them down a bit, right? I compliment highly. But you know what I compliment women on? And it's the truth, because it's the truth to what I see. I don't compliment on her eyes. She's heard it all her life, her hair or whatever. I say, because what I'm attracted to is the energy of a woman and the way she moves. She's wearing a dress and the way that dress moves around her body. And I compliment that. If you guys want to change your relationship with women, compliment her energy. Say, you know what, I'm going to say this to you. I don't know who you are. I'm Zan. You have there's something about you. I was over there with my friends, and I had to come over and say hi to you because something about your energy, something about your aura. It's incredible. She's never been complimented on that before. And that's what it is that's attracted to you, or attractive to you. I'll say this last thing, and then I can take a couple questions, because I got a few minutes. I said I started out my life to try and understand the energy of men who women adore. Men who have women in their lives all the time. Women take care of them. They love them, right? You know what it is, the number one? Well, it's complex, but I'll try and sum it into a little simple thing. The men of all of history who have women in their lives, who love them and take care of them, have two qualities. Counterbalancing. Remember upper lower and energy I talked about. They have this. There's simultaneously to women a father figure that says, don't cross this line. I like you, don't do this. I don't like that. I like you, but I don't like your behavior. Imagine that. What a phrase to say. What a phrase to say to a beautiful woman. You know, I'm going to say this to you. I like you, and I don't like this behavior. I don't like it, but I like you. Powerful. So there's a father figure that says to put her in her place. Don't cross this line because this is the way I want it to be, my dear. It's kind. It's gentle. It's invitational. It's sweet. You're not like, oh, I don't like this when you blah, 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 blah. It's none of that kind of energy. It's like, listen, baby, listen. I like you. I don't like this behavior. Don't do it again. Look at my eyes. Don't do it again. That father figure saying, no, don't do it. No, I don't like it. Powerful men that have women in their lives have that spirit. At the same time, they have the spirit of these little boys who are lost. And it calls to the life-giving mother essence of women, which they have. I don't care what modern society and media says, they have it. In other words, there's a little boy caught in the cookie jar like this, and mother walks in, and he's standing on the stool like this, and she goes, what are you doing? And he goes, okay, well, you're so cute, you can have a cookie. In other words, the strongest men with women are men who say, don't cross this line, I don't like it, I don't like that behavior. And there's simultaneously little boys who are like needing help and they can't adjust their collar, and women have to wash behind their ears. And like, if you're only this cool guy who's got 100% figured out, and you don't give the women the chance, the woman in your life, the relationship in your life, to take care of you and like and to inspire you and to be that woman for you, you rob her of everything. She wants to take care of you too. And that's why women in relationship will start drama and start fights and start poking at the guy, because there's no energy. It's like he's just like this flatline guy. So they try and cause a drama or cause a fight or cause some kind of like trouble because of that. So this is the conclusion that I've ever come in my life. I've never heard anybody in my life say it. Men who love women are loved by women. That's the way it works. They get a free pass. Now this, if the men of all of history who have women who just like, oh, that's just him, he gets away with it, you have to prove something to me. No, that's just him. He's on our side. He's on our side. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's men who get a free pass. What? It's because they have this strong father figure energy. Don't. Here's how I want it to be, baby. I want it to be like this, and that's what I want it to be. And I will not bend on that. Instead of following her around, we hear about this leadership energy. Guys are being taught this. If you want to do something, you tell the girl, I want to do this. I choose this movie. But there's no point in that. With my girlfriend, I say, hey, baby, listen, let's go to a movie tonight. What would you like? Do you have a preference? Because I don't care. And right? And if she says, you know, I'm not sure this one, then I decide. Okay, I'll decide. Let's go. So there's still a give and take. There's still an energy of that. You see? I'm not demanding my way or the highway. No, not at all. I love my girl. And you want to do this? Okay, baby, let's go. I'll go with you because I like you and I want to do it. So that's that strong leadership energy that says, no, don't cry. But if she crosses the line, I don't like it, baby. Listen to me. Listen to my voice. Look at my eyes. I don't like it. I like you, but don't do this. I don't want it in my life. I don't want this energy around me. Don't do it. You see? At the same time, if you give that, I'm emphasizing this point, I know. If you give her the ability to take care of you and her mother instinct comes out, there's something called the Warriors Repose. Imagine this, an Aztec warrior out there fighting battles, fighting warriors, fighting other warriors and fighting and going on battle, which you have this spirit of like going out there. And he comes back into the tent with his woman and he crawls into her lap like a cat. This fierce warrior. And he puts his head on her lap and she's stroking his hair and says, it's going to be okay. That's what we're missing. That's what we're craving from women. The Warriors Repose. You go out there and you fight battles and you fight your warrior, and you come back and she has the grace and the feminine energy to rebirth you and say, it's going to be okay. We want that, and we're missing it across the board. Modern women are saying, well, what are you going to do for me? And blah, blah, what do you do for a living? And modern men are like, it's all broken. But take heart, because it's going to change. It's going to change. I feel it. It's going to change. I talk all over the world. I talk to different groups. And it can't sustain. It's going to change. Anyway, I talked a lot. I got a few minutes left for any questions.
Who's got questions for Zan?
Hi, girls in the back. Hello.
How rude,
Hey, really great talk. I especially love the end piece about the warriors and poets. And I was just hoping that you could speak towards, so I'm someone, when I first meet someone, I have a lot of, a wide range of interests and ways in which I can act authentically. And can you explain, how you transition from the warrior to the poet when you're just meeting someone, so it doesn't come off as you're being incongruent with yourself totally, if that makes sense?
Yeah, kind of. I think, I don't know, it's a simultaneous thing. If you feel the energies of both that, whatever you're talking about, the poet and the warrior, and you express it to her, that's powerful. That's a powerful thing. I'm a big advocate of speaking your truth, whatever's going on in the moment. I believe it. If you like a girl, if I like a girl, I say, I like you. I don't know why, but I like you. If I want her in my bed, I want you in my bed. That's what I know. Hello, what's your name? You'd be a great lover for me. I say it. So to speak that, what you're talking about, is there is no transition, is what I'm trying to say. You're simultaneously both. And you forgive yourself everything. All seeming mistakes. And I think that's a powerful takeaway I hope you guys get. You forgive yourself every seeming mistake, because we think we're not good enough, but we're more than good enough. And I'm not kidding about that, guys. I am not kidding about that. I hope you get that. I hope you really receive that. Any other questions? No?
I got some questions. So you have always been known about talking about ease and delight.
Yeah.
How would you put that in a nutshell? How does one live a life of ease and delight?
You know what? I tell you this. I guess it goes back maybe to the Stoics, who talked about, no, it goes back to the book of Ecclesiastes. There's nothing new under the sun. All is vanity, says the preacher. King Solomon went out there and found he had 500 concubines and 300 wives. He had the riches above all the riches. He had wisdom above wisdom. And he writes the book, the Ecclesiastes, which is, I sought all of this in this world, and all is vanity. By that it means none of it matters. The sun rises on the rich and the poor, the good and the bad. Imagine this. Mark Twain said this: when you die, they memorialize you for an hour and forget you forever. When you die, everything, all your possessions are going to disappear like the wind. And here's the truth. Nobody's going to remember you. That's the truth. What a shocking thought. When I look at it, I'm from Canada, so I grew up in the wilderness with no sense of history, with no old buildings. The people in Europe have all this history that they grew up in, and they take it for granted. And when I see a portrait, I see a photo of a woman from 1880. She's smiling like this with a glass of wine, looking at a black and white photo of this woman. I'm thinking, she's young and pretty, she's probably 21 years old. And she's 100% forgotten today. Gone. And that shocks my mind. How is that possible that all she dreamed and all she loved and everything she tried to create things and stuff like that, and it's all gone and forgotten. In other words, whatever you're in your head about, whatever you're like trying to micromanage, means nothing. It absolutely it means nothing. This is it. This is your last life. This is it. We're waiting for something else to happen. We're waiting for women to be nice finally. It's not going to happen. We're waiting. If not now, then when? That was from a Greek philosopher. If not now, then when? Ask yourself that. If not now, then when? Well, when I save up some money. If not now, then when? This is, I'm telling you guys, this is a call to leadership. This is the fight of your lives. There's no more time. When I came out of Nicaragua, my concept was this, and I wrote this phrase. It's in my book, and you're going to see it in my book because it affected me greatly. It's this: every great life has had a great renunciation. Every great life, I'll say that again. Every great life has had a great renunciation. We're this self-help generation. Everybody here has got self-help books sitting on their shelf. You've got programs you've signed up to try and understand something about yourself. And it's not necessary to read the book. It's enough that I bought it and it's sitting on the shelf. I got the answer right there, yeah. Right? We buy these books, we don't read them because, but there's the answer right there. And when we read that book, we read the next one, and read the next one, we go to the next program, we go to the next weekend conference, we go to all these conferences, we do all this kind of stuff. Chasing that. But I'm telling you, that is not enough. That is not enough. I said it earlier, if it's going to take everything you've got and more. If you want to have a life, if you want women to look at you like, who's this guy? Go into the wind and speak your name, like I said earlier. Go climb a mountain and don't tell a soul that you did it. Go into the world and hang around your heroes. Go seek them out. Say, well, I wanted to learn something. I want to fight for something. That's where you go. That's the power. It's that important. Every great life has had a great renunciation. What does that mean, renunciation? To renounce things in your life that keep you small. That means your parents' expectations, the college education. Well, I took this education, I should continue with computer science, even though I don't like it. Renounce it all. Renounce anything that keeps you small. That's not a politically correct thing to say, but I mean it with everything. Another question, we got another 5 minutes. Yes?
What would you say to the audience who's not used to hearing this message because of the generation they've grown up in? And maybe the first response is to, what the hell is this guy? A rejection of this, what my opinion is a very strong and a message I agree with. What would you say as we leave that they could, if I may, renew their mind with this message and steps?
Well, I'll say this.
Because many would say, it's too big. I don't even know where to start.
Yeah. Okay, because this is important. Because I want guys to know that they're sitting in their seat here. They're going back to Pump Handle, Iowa, or wherever they live, where there's no girls, right? And you work at your father's accounting firm. And I don't want to say, hey, you can be all you can be. Just be yourself, which is like, that's the same as saying, hey, just follow a budget. It means nothing to us. We all know what it conceptually means, we can't do it. Just be yourself. What kind of advice is that? Be unattached to the outcome. How can you be unattached to the outcome of this beautiful girl when you're horny? You can't. How can you be unattached to that? It's like you want love, you want somebody to touch you, you want that comfort, human comfort. How can you be unattached to that? Oh yeah, it's artificial. So all these trite sayings, they mean nothing. We post them on Facebook, right? We make it like a little image and post it as a quote. It means nothing. So your question is very strong and very powerful. And all I can say is this: awareness is curative. Just by becoming aware that if I knew this, guys, when I was young, when I was trying to figure it out, when I was so lost and lonely, awareness is curative. Awareness has the answer in it. Just by being knowledgeable that maybe there's a better path for you will cure you. You don't know your next step. I get that. You don't know what you want. I get that too. You don't know how you want yourself to be. That's okay too. But just to know. I mean, you're hearing the other speakers here, like guys like Brian, who, you know, there's pathfinders out there who marked the trees for you and fought through the elements and, you know, chased the grizzly bear away. You could follow the path a bit, which is great. I had nobody to say anything to me when I was young. It's a deficit I had. I didn't have a father figure. Didn't have a hero to look up to. And if you can get any kind of like traction or any kind of, by reading this book or listening to guys like Brian or the other speakers who've beaten down some of the trees and paths before you, man, you can accelerate. It took me 10 years of confusion from 19 to 29, then 10 years of like, from 29 to 39, and then 10 years of writing and trying to write it down and refine it from 39 to 49. If you can get any kind of jump start on it, I wish I would have had it. That's why I believe in everything I'm saying. I wish I had it when I was young. I don't know if I answered your question. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, the question is, like, in this generation, that we don't believe it for ourselves. You might believe it, but others might not. I believe it for you. I really do.
It's just not a message being taught or schools or church.
No, and it needs to be.
Correct.
It needs to be taught in schools.
You're 21 and you've grown up for 10 years hearing this message, and all of a sudden you hear the message
Yeah.
shared.
It's.
So that's why I kind of use the words renewing your mind.
Yeah.
That you could possibly use.
And maybe it's confusing. I don't know. Maybe I'm confusing you guys. Maybe. But you know what? I'll tell you this, and I'll say it quickly. I spent my 20s, I'm not kidding, to learn how to be a seducer of women. This is on film, but I'll say it anyway. And I was good. I could talk a woman into bed. Give me a glass of wine and a woman for an hour. She might be married or have a boyfriend, and it's not going to happen, but I can make her go. I know how to talk to women. I spent my days, I said, I'm this lost little boy. I'm going to figure out how to be this great lover of women. I'm going to be the greatest lover a woman's ever known. I'm going to be the greatest seducer a woman's. I'm going to learn how to seduce women. And I headed down that path to the point where I could talk to women, and I know what she's thinking. I could say the next thing. I could adjust things around what I wanted my worldview to be. And what you learn over the years is the greatest essence of seduction and the greatest attraction quotient you have is to be authentic. And simplicity to me is incredible these days. I don't weave words. I wrote a book. I'm a wordsmith. I love words. My book's very poetic. I like this kind of like, but I don't weave words when I talk to women. I say it simply. I lay it down. Everything I say to a woman is like a tennis ball I hit on her side of the court. Boom. You can do whatever you want with it, dear. I say to her, I like you. I want to see you again. That's all I know. Boop. She can pick up the ball and walk off the court. She can take off. She can hit it back, whatever it is. Doesn't matter. I did my job as a man. I showed up. So for me, it's like, did I do my job as a man? That's why I can't get rejected. Not possible. If I say to a girl, listen, I like you, and your friend's cute, and what's your name? And she goes like this. At least I did my job as a man. I showed up in the world. Hey, I'm good. If you compliment a woman and say, hey, there's something, you look beautiful to me, and your friend is beautiful, it's up to her now. The ball is in her court. Here's the thing about compliments. Compliments, and this is why they're so bad. Can't compliment a beautiful woman, she's heard all her life, is because compliments have nothing to do with her and everything to do with you. So I say to this girl, hey, you have such beautiful eyes, can I buy you a drink? You're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. That has nothing to do with her at all. It's like me trying to say something and buy her a drink so she likes me. In other words, my compliment is saying, I'm going to say this to you and I hope you like me back. I hope you like me. And a man who likes beautiful things in this world will say to this beautiful girl, you know what, I'm saying this to you. You are a true beauty and I like the way you look and I want to say that, and it lands and you leave it. So, I don't know if I went on a rabbit trail there or what. I think I've got 30 seconds left. All right, guys.
Thank you very much, Zan Perrion.
Hey, thanks for watching my whole talk, and I hope it had a lot of value for you. And you know, I want to honor the work that these guys are doing with the 21 Studios. So subscribe to their YouTube channel. It's good work. It's necessary work for all of us. And if you want to find out more about me, go to arsamorata.com or zanperrion.com, which will be linked down here.